Oh, I am tired. I ran 7 miles earlier this afternoon, and I haven't run more than 2 miles all week because I've been running before work, and it feels good and all, but I need to get more mileage in, I guess. 7 miles today is pretty solid. I wish I could do that every day now. My legs feel like jello, so I'm gonna go ahead and take a seat here. Anyway, welcome back. We're gonna talk about Kaze again. Pretty cool episode. This one was called The Ones Not Chosen. Basically, it's a reference to King. You'll find out why in a second. Opens up where King is actually at a career fair at the big site, the Tokyo Big Site, which is that big convention center near the Tokyo harbor. Has like 4 upside down pyramids, and there's a big escalator coming out of the side. At first, when I saw this, I was thinking to myself, I wonder if Prince is going to be going to a comic head or something like that, because we know Prince is an otaku type, you know? So he's actually at a career fair, and he applies to a bunch of different places. He sees a advertisement for a recruiter that's sponsored by the college, and then he goes ahead, fills it out, comes home, and he comes back to the dorm. Basically, everybody's drinking, they're having a good time. As soon as King walks in, you can hear them upstairs just making noise, getting hammered and talking shit about Sakaki, the guy who is the jerk. Kaki Sakaki, I guess you can call him. But friendships are made while you're drunk, especially with people who you normally wouldn't be able to talk to that easily. Kind of opens you up, brings down your anxiety levels, and they're just having a good time talking. And Hakeru is starting to get into it. He's starting to really enjoy hanging out with these guys. I mean, you could tell how he kind of stood up for himself and told Sakaki, like, I'm coming after you, and all that kind of stuff. So, pretty cool. They're looking to get into a new track meet. Many of them are pretty close to 16:30 already. I know the JoJo's twins are already near 16:30. Obviously, Haiji and Kakeru are way under 16 minutes, to be honest. And pretty soon, I believe Yuuki and... No, not Yuuki, I'm sorry. Pretty soon... Yuuki. Pretty soon he's going to be close to that. So these guys are starting to get better. You can kind of tell from all the stuff they're doing. So during their little drunk hangout, Shindo, who is the younger looking guy, the guy who grew up in the mountains and walked to school and whatnot, he's actually getting up on his drunk rampage, and he's like, I'm gonna run the Hakone Ekiden, and you guys are gonna join me, and everybody's getting really into it. Like the JoJo's twins, obviously, they're into it because they want to get the ladies. King kind of talked about why he wanted to get into it, but we're going to learn a lot about him a little bit later in this episode. So, and then later that night, when Kakeru goes downstairs to get drink of water before he goes to bed, he sees Haiji washing dishes, and they talk about how, like, they're like, are we really going to do this? And Haiji just kind of goes, this is what he says, Hakone isn't a dream, it's a reality. That's what they were talking about then. And it kind of really shows that they're pretty serious about doing this. This chair is really squeaky. Like, that's annoying. Not all of us can have a chair like PewDiePie. So, you got to do with what you can, you know? Enough with the fourth wall breaking, though. Let's get back into this. Throughout this episode, you see King looking at his smartphone, mostly like before he's going to bed and whatnot, or like in the middle of the night, and I think it has something to do with his job search, to be honest. He's waiting for that reply. I recently got a new job about a week ago. I started, and I totally get where he's coming from. The anxiety level is so high because you're waiting on a response about a job offer or something like that, and I thought that was pretty relatable. The next day, they go for a morning light jog, and after the light jog, they get back. Haiji's telling everybody, like, listen, if we really want to get fast and get good at this, we got to start running in the afternoon as well. So they actually, a lot of them are really pissed, including Yuuki especially. Now, Yuuki as I kind of described in the past, he's kind of a tsundere because he's coming across as really cold and kind of a like an asshole because he's not wanting to run and he's trying to get everybody else not to run. Him and Musa are trying to persuade others not to do it, and Yuuki just blows his top when he hears that Haiji wants him to do double practice runs or double practice days and that kind of thing. It's just kind of funny. He's also mad because Nico-chan senpai is quitting smoking, which says straight up that Nico-chan is really serious about this because he's willing to give up smoking to do it. Like I said, obviously we know how bad smoking tobacco-based products are. Lung cancer, emphysema, etc. But it's just bad for when you're running. It's taking the wind out of you. And Nico-chan is quitting because he does want to get healthier. Now, he does say that he's not taking Haiji seriously. He doesn't have that much faith in Haiji and his whole campaign to run the Ekiden, but he does want to be healthier. And I think later on we're going to figure out that one of the side effects is obviously that he's going to be really good at running. And again, Nico is the guy who did previously run track and field, kind of like with Haiji and Kakeru. So now the next day when they do it, when they go on their next morning run, King doesn't show up. Because with King, he is starting to become more against this because of his issue he has on the side. He's looking for a job, and he's looking really hard. So we're going to see later what happens in the next episode. I'm hoping some sort of breakthrough comes up. And what I thought was pretty funny about this was kind of like how when Prince was being lifted up by his shirt later in the episode, he's actually tied to Haiji's dog, Nira. It's kind of funny because I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to get Nira to run so that it makes Prince run faster because they want Prince to get better because he's one of the slowest people on the team. And then they have their afternoon run, which is 1 hour, which 1 hour is, it can be as slow as you want it to be or it can be as fast as you want it to be. With these guys, they're doing what's called a build-up run. They start out maybe like a 12-minute pace, then they get into like a 10-minute pace. By the time it's the end of the run, they might be doing their last mile at anywhere between 5 minutes and 6 minutes, which is pretty damn fast for a mile. Even after 1 mile, going to that last mile or last half at 5-minute pace is super fast. It's only 40 seconds faster to be like a 1,500 meter race pace or a mile race pace. So, and then after that run, Yuuki and Nico have a little talk. Nico was telling Yuuki, like, listen, here's the reason why I'm trying to get into this. The reason why I'm wanting to get into running is because I feel clean. Yuuki is just, he's confused as hell. He doesn't know what that means. What he honestly means by that, when he feels clean, it just means that he feels healthier. His pores, his sweat pores are spewing out all the bad chemicals and side effects from smoking, and he just feels better. Running makes a lot of people feel better. That's why I do it, because after a long week of work, one of my favorite things to do is to go run around the area and then jump in the pool or eat something really big later on. So, now, one thing about this that got to me because of my issues I've been having last month or so with my job is that King got rejected by that recruiter that was associated with the university. He was clearly frustrated. He actually threw his smartphone across the room or something like that. That's his number one thing. His number one goal is to get a new job. So I thought it was kind of cringy and painful, and I had some feels, and I was like, shit, I know how this guy feels. They go downstairs, and they're all getting super pumped. Like, they're talking about getting new shoes, new clothes, and everything like that. Even earlier in the episode, I forgot to say it earlier, but there was a scene where Musa is getting ready for practice, and he's looking down at his brand new shoes, his brand new pink shoes, and they even have like the sparkles around it, like when they're introducing like a female anime character in like a shoujo or rom-com or something like that, so I thought it was kind of funny. And the JoJo's twins are like, wow, these are beautiful, I want to get new shoes. And it's actually the best feeling in the world, getting new running shoes, because they look really nice. You want to try to keep them as clean as possible, and they feel great because they have, you know, initial amounts of cushion, so it feels really great. Even when you're not running, they're just awesome. So HiDive has a new mandate where these guys need to get new clothes. And as he's talking about that, King walks downstairs, and King is mad. Again, this is him finding out that he just lost that opportunity to get that job, and he's really frustrated. He goes, I have my own life to live. He walks out angry and frustrated, and then Shindo is like, oh, damn, King, what are you doing? Something like that, I don't know. And he's very concerned about his career. But the thing is, he's in college. He still has time to figure that out. From what I've been told, it's very hard to find a job in such an overly populated place like in Tokyo or New York, but at the same time, he's got plenty of time. I think he's stressing out a little bit too much. I think if he runs, he'll feel better. Speaking of which, Haiji is extremely correct when he says that running the Hakone Ekiden is going to help King. Putting that on a resume in like your extracurricular or awards and honors section will do worlds of help to get a job. As an NCAA athlete, I used that privilege to my advantage because employers, especially with big companies, they want NCAA athletes. They want them just as much as they want military or veteran status because it's a very, very great thing to have. It means that you busted your ass for years in high school and college, especially at an NCAA level. So when Haiji says that the Ekiden will help King find a job, he's right. So obviously in the next episode, we're going to find out what happened. After the ending credits for the previews, we see shots of different things like shogi, which is that strategy chess kind of game. The JoJos are eating ramen. King is running up a hill, so I think King is practicing, maybe. And then also King attacks Shindo in like a bantery, friendly way. Like he does this thing where he, grabs him and then nails his head or whatever, and Haiji's presenting a chart to some of the guys, but King is not there, so there's obviously going to be some sort of roller coaster of emotions in this next episode from what it looks like. A lot of practicing, running, and friendships happening. All that great stuff. That episode will be called The Emperor's New Clothes, which is obviously going to be a reference to a very old drama called The Emperor's New Clothes, but it's going to have something to do with the guys getting new clothes, and I think King is the Emperor. He's going to be getting new clothes because maybe there's some sort of breakthrough. Maybe Shindo is the person who helps him realize what he should be getting himself into and all that stuff. So then King goes ahead and buys new clothes, and it should be very exciting. I'm pretty excited about it. Again, I cannot stress to you guys how much this show means to me, because it's just, not only is it a great, well-written show, and it has a lot of different source material, obviously, but it looks good, it sounds good, it's relatable for me. I think if any of you were college athletes, it should be really cool seeing this show and making your own comparisons and everything like that. I thought it was pretty cool how it's a college group instead of a high school group, and that it's running instead of volleyball or haiku or badminton like Hanabado or whatever else. Now granted, running has been done before in anime. Again, Uma Musume Pretty Derby, Suzuka, Prince of Stride Alternative, etc. Even though those have been done before, this show really hits the nail on the head. I think it's pretty exciting. Anyway, like I said, I ran earlier today for 7 miles. I'm pretty exhausted, so I will be signing out for today. Always a pleasure speaking to you guys and telling you about what I thought about this whole thing. Again, if you like what you hear in this video, like, subscribe, and follow me on Twitter at RealCLTOtaku. You can always private message me asking questions about running or athletics or what the NCAA is about or different tips and tricks for running and how to get better at it. I'm always welcome to those kind of questions, as well as any other sort of discussions. Anime, manga, video games, movies, politics, if you're feeling edgy enough, whatever you guys want to talk about. I'd love to talk it over with you and make some friendships, you know? Anyway, I hope you guys all have a great rest of your evening, and always, always remember to pick up after your pet.